Policy 34, C.F.R, Part 104, Subpart E on Pacific University campus. So this policy is non-discrimination on basis of handicap, federal financial assistance under Part 104, and Subpart E applies to post-secondary education, so colleges and universities. This requires them to provide accessibility to all buildings on campus, and that the person's disability is not a part of admission process. So that just means that there are no minimum or maximum handicapped persons as students. So those affected by this policy, handicapped persons and temporarily injured athletes are directly affected. This would be by accessibility to buildings and dorms, and even participation in activities. Visitors, other students, and faculty are also affected because they share the space. The federal government puts money towards the university to pay for this from taxpayers' dollars, which also makes them indirectly affected by this policy. The government is opposed to this policy because they've already put it in place and put money towards it, so they don't want to have to keep dealing with it. Same with public establishments and colleges. They've put that money towards this, and they don't want to have to put more time, energy, and money into updating things, so it still fits into this. Handicapped persons, of course, support this policy because it grants them more accessibility and they're able to participate just like the other students. Civil rights activists also support this because they want to fight for people who cannot always fight for themselves, and they just want what's best for everyone, not just the people in power. So the financial backers of this policy start with taxpayers. Their money goes to the federal government, which then the government sends out that money to different places, and one of these is the colleges and universities, who then have to put forth this policy. So those in favor realize that this opens up campus to more diversity and shows the public that the college cares about everyone in their community. It also combats discrimination against a minority group, which is something Pacific University and other colleges pride itself in doing. It also allows all students to participate in school functions and activities, including sports. So the opposition is the problem with adding more accessibility to buildings on campus is costly, especially when it comes to elevators or the size of dorm buildings. Not all dorms can accommodate handicapped persons. It is way easier for them to make only first-level rooms handicapped accessible. It is costly to make a lot of changes to an older campus such as Pacific's, especially when it comes to bigger elevators in bigger dorm buildings that they cannot afford. So one good example of a positive handicap is the University of Oregon, because it has many pathways that are easily accessible for handicapped persons to get around campus on their own. They also have a wide range of resources for their students. This is mostly on campus, but it also includes police, speech, hearing center, and disability studies. Pacific, however, isn't as big, so it doesn't need as many resources, but there needs to be at least one designed for physically disabled students. Pacific is really good at helping people who have depression and anxiety, but they lack in physically disabled resources. So the next steps, advocate. Advocate for those handicap accessibility around, for more handicapped accessibility around Pacific. Many buildings are not built for handicapped persons to get around. This can also have an effect on injured athletes. So this is a part of diversity, yet there is limited access to Pacific University buildings. Pacific wants to be more diverse, so they need to add this as one of their things. So these students need a voice, so you really just need to advocate, because it's not just the buildings. Walkways are not always safe without them having assistance, which is something they don't always want. They want to be able to do things on their own, and this is just one way that we can do that for them. Thank you.